So I am a right-handed. If you are left-handed, try find a different tutorial on YouTube. I never checked it, but I'm sure you can find one. So as a right-handed, I hold my crochet hook on my right hand, not at the end and not too close to the hook, just approximately here in the middle. And on my left hand, I hold the yarn. I will show you slowly how I hold the yarn. There are more ways, but I found this way best for me. So, just for example, I just make that. And I take the yarn like that, wrap it on my finger twice. 1 and 2. Like that. Then, with my 2 fingers here, I'm holding what I'm working on, like that. I will show you again. You take your hand like that, and you're going to wrap it on your finger twice. And with those fingers, you're going to hold what you're working on. Just like that. So next thing is basic necessary stitches you will have to know to make an amigurumi doll. So almost in every project you start, you will have to make a magic ring, which can be called as a magic circle, or his short way are the letters MR or MC. I say almost because sometimes you will start with chains, usually to crochet a muzzle, but we will talk about it later. So how we make a magic ring? There are few ways. I will show you the easiest way for me, and my way is really not common, but I think it's really easy. So I will do it slowly twice, and I hope you will get it. So you take your yarn, you take your yarn and you do like that. It's like a circle here. Now you take this end of yarn and you bring it through the circle. That's how it looks like for now. Now you want to turn it over and you wrap your yarn as we said, and with those 2 fingers you want to hold here what you will work on. Make sure you hold with those 2 yarns, you see, like that. Now you take your crochet hook and you go through the circle. Now you want to yarn over, go through the circle. Now you have 1 loop on your hook. You yarn over again and go through the loop. So that's a magic ring, magic circle. I will show you again how we do it. You take your yarn and you do like a circle here. You take the end and you bring it through the circle, like that. Now you turn it over, you wrap your yarn like that, and you hold with those fingers here make sure again you hold with those 2 yarns like that. You take your crochet hook and go through the circle. Now you want to yarn over and go through the circle. Now you have 1 loop on your hook. You yarn over again and go through the loop. That's a magic ring. So next thing we do after the magic ring is single crochet, or in short, the letters SC. I will show you how to make the single crochet inside the magic ring, which is row 1, and I will also show you how to make single crochet on the next rows. So usually for row 1 we do 6 single crochet inside the magic circle, sometimes 7 or 8 stitches, but it's not common. So that's how we make single crochet inside the magic circle. You take your hook through the circle, then you yarn over and go through the circle again. Now we have 2 loops on the hook. You yarn over and you go through both loops. That's a single crochet. Let's make another one. You take your hook through the circle, you yarn over, you go through the circle, and you have 2 loops on your hook. You yarn over and you go through both loops. So that's another single crochet. So we have 2 single crochets. Let's do it one more time together slowly. You take your hook through the circle, you yarn over, go through the circle, 2 loops on the hook, you yarn over and go through both loops. That's another single crochet. That's 3. So as I said, usually we have 6 in the first row, so let me just do it. Okay, so once you made 6 single crochets, you're going to take this end and pull. Okay, so that's count as row 1. And that's a single crochet inside the magic circle. Now I want to show you how the stitches look like, and then I will show you how to make single crochets on the next rows. So as you can see, it's like a V shape here. So that's a stitch, that's a single crochet. Another V here is another single crochet. Another V here is another single crochet. So we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 on row 1. Now next I will show you how to make a single crochet on the next rows. So as we said, each stitch has a V shape. So you take your hook and you go into the first stitch, like that. Then you want to yarn over, go through the stitch and then you have 2 loops on your hook. You yarn over and go through 2 loops. So that's a single crochet made from a stitch, made from a single crochet. I will show you again. You can see this V here. You take your hook inside, like that. Make sure you go through both loops. Look, every stitch has 2 loops. The front loop, which is this one, and back loop, which is this one. So you need to make sure when you're making a single crochet that you go through both loops of the stitch. Now you want to yarn over, go through the stitch. Now you have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and go through both loops. So that's a single crochet. So as we said, every stitch have 2 loops. Front loop, which is this one, and a back loop. Sometimes you will have in a tutorial to make and use only front loops or only back loops. So just have in your mind, it's not common for beginners tutorials, but you better know it. So next thing that I want to show you is how to make a slip stitch. Slip stitch, we use it to close and finish your toy, or sometimes you at the end of a row. So how you do it? You take your hook into the next stitch, which is the first one here, like that. Then you yarn over, you go through the stitch and straight into the loop that's on your hook. And that's a slip stitch. I will show you one more time. Take your hook into the next stitch, you yarn over, go through the stitch and straight into the loop that's on your hook. That's a slip stitch. There are also half double crochet stitch, double crochet stitch and treble crochet. 99% of the times you won't need it, but people use those stitches to make bows, t-shirts, dresses and more for their dolls. If you still want to learn them, just look up for a tutorial I have on the box down below, or just search in YouTube double crochet, half double crochet or treble crochet. Okay, next thing I will talk about is increases and decreases. Usually at the second row, from the second row, you will have to increase the numbers of stitches you have in each row. Usually each row grows plus 6 stitches. For example, like that, row 1 is a 6 single crochet in the magic ring, then 12, then 18, 24, 30 and etc. Continue the same way. And at the last rows, you will have to decrease the numbers of stitches you have in each row. It works the same way, minus 6 stitches every row. So how we do an increase? What I have here is first row of 6 single crochets around. So now I want to make an increase. How I do it? I just make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So you go into the next stitch, which is the first of the row. you want to yarn over, go through the stitch, yarn over, go through both loops on your hook. So we made one single crochet. Now for the increase, we want to make another single crochet in the same stitch. So you take your hook into the same stitch, you yarn over, go through the stitch, yarn over, go through both loops on the hook. So now we made one increase. Let's do it again. Now for the next increase, you want to go into the next stitch and again make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So you take your hook and go through the stitch. You yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through both stitches. So we made one single crochet. For the increase, we're going to make one more single crochet into the same stitch. So you take your hook through the same stitch, you yarn over, go through the stitch, 2 loops on your hook, you yarn over and go through both loops. So now we made another increase, we have 2. So usually for row number 2 you make 6 increases. So I will just make it and I will show you next how to make a decrease. Okay. So now I will show you how to make a decrease. Decrease means make 1 single crochet out of 2 single crochet. So how we do it? I will show you the regular way and then I will show you invisible way, which is harder and not recommended for beginners, but once you get more experienced, you better try and do the invisible decrease. It gives it a better look. So for the regular decrease, you take your hook into the next stitch, then you yarn over and go through the stitch. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. You go into the next stitch, yarn over and go through the stitch. Now we have 3 loops on the hook. You yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So that's a decrease. I will show you one more time how to do it. Take your hook into the next stitch, you yarn over, go through the stitch. Then you go into the next stitch, yarn over, go through, loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3 loops. That's another decrease. Now I will show you how to do the invisible decrease, just so you will have in your mind for later on. So you want to work only with the front loops. As we said, each stitch has a front loop and a back loop. So you're going to take the front loop only of the next stitch, then straight into the front loop only of the next stitch. Now you have here 2 loops. You yarn over, go through those 2 loops, like that. Now you yarn over and go through those 2 loops. That's an invisible decrease. Next thing that I want to show you is how to make a slip knot. Sometimes for like when you crochet muzzle, you will have to make chains. So before you make the foundation chain, you need to make a slip knot. How you do it? You take your yarn. Again, you do like a circle here. But now, you're not going to bring it all through. You just pull a small piece like that and pull. Here is our slip knot. I will show you again how to do it. You take your yarn, you make a circle, and with this yarn you're going to go through the circle and pull like that. Here is our slip knot. Now you put those 2 yarns and get it close to the hook like that. Close it on the hook. So that's a slip knot. Now we will make chains. Chain is so simple to do. We usually use chains to finish off your project, to join legs together, or to crochet a muzzle if you crochet animal, or crochet other things such as clothes, bows, and more for amigurumi. So how you do it? You yarn over and go through the loop that's on your hook. That's 1 chain. Yarn over, go through the loop. That's another chain. So we have 2 chains. Yarn over, go through the loop. That's 3 chains. Again, you yarn over, go through the loop. That's 4 chains. So that's how you make a chain. Okay, now last thing you need to know down the stitches category is how to finish off and what it means. The short way to write is FO, and it will be written at the end of every part and at the end of every project you are doing. You are doing it to make sure that it will be safe and unable to open. So how you do it? You do a slip stitch into the next stitch. You go through the next stitch, over, go through the stitch and straight into the loop that's on your hook. Then you are going to chain 1, just yarn over and go through the loop. Then you will have to cut your yarn. Sometimes you need to leave tail to sew to the other part, but you just cut it, let's say here. And you want to pull all the way like that and pull tight. Okay, so that is a finish off. For parts like head and body, you will also have to close the little hole that's left for you. How you do it? Take your needle and bring the tail that you left through like that. Now you have 6 stitches around. You want to take your needle into the front loop only of each stitch around, like that, from the outside to the inside. So that's 1. Next stitch, front loop only, from the outside to the inside. That's 2. Next, that's 3. 4. Don't forget to use only the front loops of each stitch. That's 5 and 6. Now you want to pull tight like that, and that's how we close the body and the head parts. Now you want to make it safe and unable to open. So you bring your needle through and out, close to each other. Then when you have a small loop, you take your needle and go through. Like that, and you pull tight. Then you want to hide your yarn, so bring your needle inside and out of a different place. And now it's safe and will never be able to open. Then you just cut the yarn and you finish. That's a finish off. Next thing you better know is how to count your rows, so you will find exactly the right place to insert your safety eyes or nose, and also if you get lost you will know where you are. So how you count your rows? Row 1 is the first circle with the 6 single crochet we made. I chose this one because it's big and easy to look. So row 1 is this circle here. Then you go up and that's row 2. 1 row up, that's row 3. Row 4. As you can see, we have like a line here between the rows. So that's row 4. That's row 5. Row 6. 7 and 86. So for example, if the tutorial tells you to insert your safety eyes between rows 5 and 6, you count from the first circle we made with the 6 single crochets. That's row 1. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is row 5, this is row 6, so you want to insert the eyes between. Here like that. Then you take the second eye, make sure put it on the same row, like that. Next thing I'm going to talk about is how much stuffing to put into your doll. I see many people ask about it, and I do want to answer for that. It's really very important. So the rule is stuff as much as you can, as long that you don't have any holes in your project. Here is a doll I made once I was a total beginner, and I was putting too much stuffing, which made holes in here, so it shouldn't happen. When you stuff and you feel like it started to have small holes, just stop and even take some out. Next thing, and very important, I want to show you is how to use your stitch marker and put it at the right place and the right way. So what I made here is row number 1 with 6 stitches around. Some people put the stitch marker into the first stitch of the next row or at the last stitch of the row that they made. It doesn't really matter, just follow what the tutorial says, but I will show you how you find the last stitch that you made and put your stitch marker in. So, as you can see, we have one loop on the crochet hook which doesn't count as a stitch. So the loop that's on your hook doesn't count. So you move it like that and then you can see all the stitches. So the last stitch that you made is the one that is close to your loop that's on your hook, which is this one. So you take your stitch marker and you bring it like that through the stitch. Let's do another row and I will show you how to take it off, where to put it inside again. So that was row 1. So for example, I'm going to take row 2 and make 6 increases. Okay, so I got back to the stitch with the stitch marker. Now I know that this is the last stitch of the row. So I take it out and make the last increase of the row. Then again you have the loop that's on your hook which doesn't count as a stitch. So you move it and then you can see here the last stitch that you made, this one here. So you take your stitch marker and bring it into this last stitch here. Then you close it again. So that's how you use your stitch marker. By the way, if you don't have a stitch marker and you still want to crochet, you just take a short yarn and use the same like we did with the stitch marker. So once you know all that, you can start work on your first project. Congratulations! So which one to choose, how to keep going from here? I will answer you right now. So always as a first project, I recommend to crochet a ball. At the box down below, I will share with you a free tutorial I made so you can use it. Once you made it and you feel ready enough, you can continue and find free beginner tutorials on YouTube. There are so many tutorials that are beginner friendly that you can find. You can also check my channel for beginners tutorials too. I do recommend to start with projects that you don't have to sew a lot of parts, such as arms and legs, and not change colors. You want to start with head plus ears, which I add a link for a few that I made especially for beginners. If you do want to crochet something with more parts, you can just find tutorials on my channel too, or write amigurumi crochet dolls patterns or free tutorials. It will be very easy to find. So for now, I recommend you to start and watch video tutorials on YouTube. It's the best way to learn more. Later on, you can learn how to read a pattern, which I have tutorial on my channel too, and you will have tons of choices. So good luck, I hope it helped you. Don't forget to subscribe if you still didn't, I will really appreciate. I do it all for free and it gives me more motivation to continue and share more for my experience. Last thing, feel free to ask anything that you need. I'm here to help anytime. On the box down below, I will add some tutorials such as how to crochet a ball, how to read written pattern, and more free tutorials for beginners. Check them out. Goodbye for now. Enjoy!